Multiple shootings over the past 24 hours leave 6 hurt and 3 dead. How residents are reacting tonight. We're following breaking news. The Ravens are set to sign star running back Derrick Henry. And a new climate plan in Annapolis with a big price tag. Why critics say lawmakers need to focus on the looming budget deficit.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
We are following breaking news. One person is dead after a shooting in the Butchers Hill neighborhood near Patterson Park. This is a live look at the scene at East Baltimore Street and South Chester Street. Police say a 33-year-old man was shot and killed just before 5 tonight. Anybody with information is asked to call police or Metro Crime Stoppers. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Mary Bubala. That shooting is just one of many in the past 24 hours. In total, 6 people have been shot since yesterday afternoon. 3 of the victims have died. On the top left of your screen, the scene at North Glover Street this afternoon, where one of those people was killed. And on the bottom left, Pulaski Highway in East Baltimore last night. Police say a 42-year-old man was shot and killed right in front of a laundromat. Last night's shooting was just one of 3 recent shootings at a business. Today, a giant grocery store in Southwest Baltimore is closed after a 20-year-old man was shot in the parking lot this afternoon. And yesterday afternoon, a 32-year-old man was shot in the parking lot of MedStar Harbor Hospital in Cherry Hill. Several persons of interest have been taken into custody in connection to that hospital shooting. Residents say the violence speaks to the situation in many Baltimore neighborhoods.
It's sad. People don't value life. You know what I mean? We value things more than we value people.
What's going on in the city now, it's something that's sad to say. It might happen even more often.
The violence not just a problem in Baltimore City. 3 people were shot. 2 of them died in a shooting at a recording studio in Laurel early this morning. Police say an argument between rival groups led to the shooting. Authorities are still looking for suspects in that. You can find more on the violence in Laurel and Baltimore City on our website, foxbaltimore.com. A new warning from Howard County Police after they say a woman was attacked on a jogging trail in Centennial Park. That's in Ellicott City. Police tweeting about the incident, saying a man in a black cloth medical mask and a plain black baseball cap grabbed her from behind and hit her around 6:30 this morning. Police say they are increasing patrols in the park and are encouraging everyone to be on the lookout for anything suspicious.
And breaking news tonight, star running back Derrick Henry is coming to Baltimore. The Ravens are reportedly set to sign a multi-year deal with Henry, giving the team and MVP Lamar Jackson another weapon in an already explosive offense. Here's how it shakes down. Henry will come to the Ravens on a 2-year deal from free agency. That deal worth a reported $16 million with $9 million guaranteed for 2024. Henry confirmed today he will be joining the team. The Ravens will officially process and confirm that deal tomorrow at the start of the new league year. Reactions are pouring in online, as you can imagine, and even the governor is sharing his excitement. Here's what fans had to say about this today. How about this? This is from Governor Wes Moore. Welcome to Baltimore, with the little crown there meaning king. I like this. Flock Nation, it is definitely up and excited. How about this one here? A couple of Heisman winners starring on the offense. We like that indeed. And last one here, this is a good one as well. You and Lamar are about to make history in football, at least for the Ravens, Mary.
And we'd like to hear that, Guy. Thank you. Lawmakers in Annapolis discuss a multi-billion-dollar climate plan. It comes despite a looming budget deficit. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost was in Annapolis today, takes a closer look at the proposed action.
Several of these proposals remain stuck in committee, while supporters remain optimistic, saying there's still time for action. The big question remains, and that's how to fund it. A beautiful sunny March day serving as a backdrop for a call to action from the League of Conservation Voters.
All of it is working towards building a cleaner, more sustainable and equitable future in Maryland.
The group pushing for a slew of climate solution bills, from the Brighter Tomorrow Act to the Reclaim Renewable Energy Act, calling to stop classifying burning trash as a renewable energy.
Senate President Ferguson and Speaker Jones, it's time to call this bill for a vote now.
Or even the whole Watershed Act. There's a common theme woven throughout: money.
We can chew gum and walk at the same time and get more done with the limited taxpayer dollars we have to invest in our critical Chesapeake Bay goals.
We have to invest more in climate solutions, and the state budget is tight. We can't afford to keep throwing our money away on trash incinerators.
How to pay for these plans, given the state's billion-dollar budget deficit in just a few years, remains a big question, especially as the State Department of Environment rolling out a plan for clean electricity for all Marylanders by 2035, among other climate change proposals. But the problem? The $1 billion price tag for the MDE proposal. In January, the secretary briefing lawmakers, noting federal grants will only cover some of the need.
That's not enough. We need to rely on Maryland.
The state arguing Marylanders can't afford not to make this investment.
This is good for the economy.
But the reality is, Maryland lawmakers already committed the state to moving on some of these climate goals, like reaching 100% clean energy by 2035.
They are the law of the land here in Maryland.
To serve as a down payment of sorts, Governor Wes Moore setting $90 million aside for the state's climate goals in the state budget. That proposal likely to change, and so far it's unclear if that down payment will be realized. Why should lawmakers look at some of these proposals as an important move to take this year, given all of the other priorities that remain on the table and the possibility of cuts and tax raises to pay for them?
The big deadline in front of us is 2031, which is 9 years away, and the Maryland General Assembly set that goal. So if we're going to achieve that goal, we've got a lot of work to do. Investment today, in some ways, is a cost saving from a deferred investment in 5 years. And that's why we believe it should be prioritized now.
With everyone in Annapolis raising up their proposals, there's only so much time left in session to get it done. And taxpayers can only fund so many things. With crossover day next week, without further action on these proposals, their future remains uncertain. In the State House, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
You believe consumers can, if once it's passed through them, they can keep affording all these new taxes?
I do think so, actually.
As lawmakers discuss that multi-billion-dollar climate plan, some are looking for ways to bring in more money. One possible solution on the table, House Bill 1515. It calls to lower the state sales tax from 6% to 5%, while adding new taxes to everyday services like haircuts and pest control. One political analyst says lawmakers can only make so many budget cuts, and they don't have much time to find a long-term solution to Maryland's budget deficit.
The closer you do a tax increase to an election year, the more voters will remember it. I think that they're making a mistake not really looking at this and tackling it now, mainly for political reasons, because if you do it now instead of waiting till next year, it's going to be fresh on voters' minds, and then voters will have a really good reason to be angry at it.
Senate President Bill Ferguson says the bill will not move forward this year. Lawmakers also talking about the Department of Juvenile Services Transparency Act. The bill stalled in committee but was brought up on the floor for a second reading today. The bill calls for DJS to track each juvenile under its supervision who has been shot someone else, or was killed. It would also require DJS to report how the agency responded to those incidents.
When our young scholars are engaged or involved in something, whether it's a shooting, non-fatal shooting, or homicide, it's our responsibility as adults to make sure that we're thinking about what does the after action, how are we wrapping our arms around these young scholars, and how do we make sure that they have the tools and resources to be able to move forward.
Are you hopeful that DJS will comply and that there will be a report by December 1st?
I believe that they'll comply, and I think that we'll be in a better situation. We get the same type of information for adults with Department of Public Safety. I think that we can move in a better posture with DJS and our juveniles.
The bill hasn't faced opposition, and the Senate could vote on it for the final time later this week. If it passes the Senate, the bill will then head to the House.
All right, hopefully you've enjoyed this wonderful day we've had. Temperatures in the 70s. Man, we deserve this after the week that we had and the weekend being so tough with the snow, the wind, the cold, the rain. Well, here we go, 72 degrees. How's that for making up for things? 15-mile-per-hour winds out of the west, gusting to around 22 miles per hour, and the air's not too humid either. It is looking and feeling great out there. All right, in the next 12 hours, we'll see our temperatures dipping down into the 50s by the time we get to around 10 o'clock, 40s after midnight, and we should end by around 45 degrees just before sunrise tomorrow. I think it'll be just fine. But here's what we're talking about, our chances for some rainfall to come in. It looks like we're going to have that possibility, especially as we get later into the weekend. So your headlines, while we're feeling like spring, weekend showers are on the way, and we have a big blast of cold air coming too. We're going to talk about when that is set to arrive coming up in just a bit.
Calls to ban TikTok over national security concerns gaining momentum on Capitol Hill. What comes next and why some lawmakers aren't on board. And now you can watch Fox 45 News for free anytime on Amazon Fire TV or Samsung TV Plus. The House is set to vote tomorrow on a bill that could ban TikTok in the U.S. if it is not sold off from its Beijing-based parent company, ByteDance. Officials believe ByteDance is under the influence of the Chinese government. The National Desk's Amira David has the story.
Lawmakers in the House now gearing up to vote on a bill that could potentially ban TikTok over national security and foreign influence concerns.
What the bill does is it gives ByteDance a 6-month window to divest itself from China. It couldn't come soon enough.
TikTok has raised concerns for years, as both intelligence officials and lawmakers have warned the Chinese government could gain access to the app's user data.
As long as ByteDance owns the artificial intelligence that powers TikTok, we got a Trojan horse living inside our country.
In its annual report, the American intelligence community says the Chinese government used TikTok to target candidates from both parties during the 2022 midterm election cycle and, quote, may attempt to influence the U.S. elections in 2024 at some level because of its desire to sideline critics of China and magnify U.S. societal divisions.
That kind of influence operation, or the different kinds of influence operation, are extraordinarily difficult to detect, which is part of what makes the national security concerns represented by TikTok so significant.
While things are moving quickly in the House, support in the Senate remains unclear. TikTok, along with the ACLU, believe banning the app would strip Americans of their constitutional right to free speech. Former President Donald Trump, who previously used an executive order in an attempt to ban TikTok, has come out against the bill, despite believing the app poses a national security risk.
The thing I don't like is that without TikTok, you can make Facebook bigger. And I consider Facebook to be an enemy of the people.
Despite his election campaign joining TikTok last month, President Biden said that he supports banning the app, telling reporters Friday that if Congress passes the bill, he'll sign it. I'm Amira David reporting.
All right, let's talk about your next weather maker. Well, it's got some time before it arrives here. Right now, the weather that we have is wonderful. We don't get much better than that. After the past week to weekend, we are seeing some beautiful conditions out there. Temperatures reaching the 70s very quickly today, and well, we'll get to have more of that. Here's a look at your current temperatures across the area. Almost everyone hits 70 degrees or better. Actually, it's 73 downtown Baltimore. Some places only touched the upper 60s. We didn't quite get there, but still, it felt wonderful. A little bit of wind off of the bay with some 48-degree water means that you're going to get a little bit of a cool breeze coming then. So it's going to feel a little bit on the chilly side as we move through tonight, only dropping to around the mid-40s. But look at tomorrow. Low 70s, more of this sunshine, more of this wonderful weather. We get to continue it another day for Thursday, and even Friday, we're going to have more of this warm temperatures sticking around. So 70s again, mid 70s as we head into Thursday. Friday will likely be close, but we are tracking our next chance of rain, which will arrive on Friday. Not until at least the second half of the day, likely going to be a late afternoon, evening to overnight event even possibly, with some scattered showers around. They're not going to linger around all weekend long, not like that washout of a Saturday that we had this past weekend. So it's mostly good news for your weekend here. We've got some rain chances in there, but not going to ruin everything, I don't think. All right, 7 days until spring. Now, we've been talking about this. Are we going to have to cancel spring altogether because we are tracking a major blast of cooler air to come in? Take a look at this. Again, we're talking about those numbers in the 70s for the next few days, but after that, it is downhill and it is a sharp drop, like a roller coaster ride. 60s on Saturday and Sunday, 50s on Monday. Yes, we are talking about temperatures in the 40s on Tuesday. After the cold air and snow on the weekend, and then 70s, and then this, my thermostat will be rather confused. I'm sure yours will too, because it's going to act just like John Travolta here, not knowing what to do or what we are doing with it. Weather can be quite crazy this time of the year. Come back in just a minute. We're going to have your 10-day forecast and talk about how long that cold air is going to stick around, though.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A focus on sky shows today, starting with the Northern Lights, which were on display last night in Fairbanks, Alaska. SpaceX's Dragon Endurance spacecraft and Crew 7 astronauts returned to Earth this morning. It was visible across central and southern states before splashing into the Gulf of Mexico. And this shot of the crescent moon in Rhode Island is a reminder that the total solar eclipse is now just 27 days away.
Listen to Off the Radar, new episodes every Tuesday.
A new push in Annapolis to allow Maryland students to carry Narcan at school. Why one student says he supports the move after watching friends and family overdose. A push tonight in Annapolis to allow students across the state to carry and administer the overdose reversing medicine Narcan at school. Kelly Lynn from our Sinclair sister station in D.C. spoke with one student backing the bill after seeing his family members and peers overdose.
18-year-old Jackson Taylor says he and his friends feel safer being able to bring Narcan to school. Now he wants students across the state to have the same opportunity. 18-year-old Jackson Taylor showed me the package of naloxone he keeps in his backpack every day.
Since the start of the school year, I have kept Narcan in the top left pocket of my backpack.
Jackson doesn't only carry the overdose reversing medicine, he also trains his peers on how to administer it. Why is it an issue that is so important to you?
Because I've had friends and family overdose.
According to Montgomery County Public Schools, youth overdoses in the county have increased by 120% since 2021. Last May, 7 News told you Montgomery County is now allowing students to carry Narcan inside public schools. Jackson wants school systems across Maryland to follow suit and recently testified before Maryland lawmakers in support of House Bill 1268.
And an overdose is like CPR, where the sooner help is given, the less likely there is a chance of irreversible damage from happening.
Delegate Joe Vogel of Montgomery County sponsored the bill.
We know that there's so many students across the state that want to be able to be trained and carry naloxone to potentially save a peer's life. In this state, this piece of legislation guarantees them the ability to do that without getting in trouble.
But some worry that having a policy in place that allows students to administer naloxone during a suspected overdose could be traumatic.
The emotional toll that they are experiencing, seeing and hearing of peers who are dealing with substance use disorder and peers who are overdosing, that's having an emotional toll on people.
I say the more traumatic thing would be seeing them overdose and not being able to do anything. If you can help, why wouldn't you?
Vogel is hopeful that the bill will move out of subcommittee and pass in the House and Senate, but he says time is running out since the Maryland General Assembly session ends in April. Reporting in Rockville, Kelly Lynn, Fox 45.
All right, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. A lot of crazy things going on in here. First of all, let's just be happy we have some weather that is as nice as we can possibly ask for. Because once you get beyond that, things start to look a little scary here. Okay, 60s on Saturday, not bad. We're dry. We're back in the 60s Sunday. A few showers possible Friday, but that's going to be late. And again on Sunday, but a major blast of cooler air coming in just in this time for the start of spring, and that is arriving on Tuesday with highs possibly stuck in the 40s. Man, that is not a way to begin the first day of spring. Rain and snow showers are even going to be possible. Luckily, it doesn't look like it sticks around for long. We start to recover as we get into later next week. Thursday and Friday, we should be at least above the average by then.
That looks much better. All right. Well, finally tonight with St. Patrick's Day this weekend, you don't have to wait long to get your Irish on. Baltimore Be More Lifestyle's Mark Clark took a trip to Bel Air to see how one local pub is celebrating.
And we're at Looney's in Bel Air getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. Kelly, you have a whole crew here with us. Introduce the crew before we get started.
I brought the crew. We have Maggie Gann.
Hey, Maggie.
Mackenzie Whitley. And our weather girl extraordinaire, Kaylin Powers.
Awesome. So a big St. Patty's Day celebration.
Absolutely.
You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, we're looking forward. We have a ton of great bands. The weather's looking great. Caitlin, did you want to say something about the weather this weekend?
I haven't looked too much into it, but I will say what I have seen, we're looking for sunny skies, 65 degrees, I would say. Looking good for us.
All right. Not official. That's not official. That's just Kayla checking in. But again, so tell us about some of the delicious, you guys are known for your live music, known for your food. What do we have here?
This is a bangers and mash and a classic shepherd's pie. It's all delicious.
Again, all delicious. Is there pressure? You guys are the spot for St. Patrick's Day. Is there pressure? You guys got it under control?
I think we're a well-oiled machine at this point. It takes a village from the delivery drivers to the staff to our owner who holds us dear to his heart. I think it's a village that takes for all of us to put this on and something we're excited to do.
Awesome. And now what's your favorite part of the whole celebration?
Just being able to have everyone come in and have fun and
Well, that sounds like, hey, that's a great formula. Again, guys, great food, great live music. It's all going down for St. Patrick's Day. I'm Mark Clark, Fox 45 News.
Hopefully there's some corned beef on that menu as well. That's all for Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feud is next. We'll see you back here for the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.